creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? Well, I live here. Yeah, so if you haven't noticed, I've been opening every video with a song. And I'm going to keep doing that until somebody finally gives me money to quit. So there's my challenge to you. And it better be worth it. So anyway, I was watching a video just a couple of minutes ago. There's a lawyer I like to watch. He'll talk about different kinds of current cases and stuff. And he said about a guy in Spain who came up with a new version of Dine and Dash. They finally stopped him after 20 times that they know of, where he went to a restaurant, had a big meal, and then faked a heart attack. So then they call an ambulance and take him to the hospital. They check him out, he's fine, and he goes on his way, but meanwhile, he got a free meal out of it. And then he was talking about how a friend of his who worked a couple different jobs, and he was working at a restaurant. I think he said it was like a fast food place. And the guy came in one day and wanted to talk to the manager, and he got the manager. And the guy said to the manager that, hey, I came Friday. I was having some friends over, and I made a large order. And I came in, and they handed me a couple of bags, and I took them home. And it was all totally the wrong stuff. He said, but we made it work, but we had to order pizza too because I only got about half of what I paid for. And he said to the manager, it's just been bothering me, so today I thought I'd come in and see what you wanted to do to make it right. And the manager asked him, well, what he wanted, and he makes another big order, and the manager gives it to him free, and the guy leaves. And so this guy's buddy said to the manager, well, did you get a receipt from him or anything? He said, no. He said he threw the receipt away. He said, well, how do you know he's even telling the truth? And he says, well, he said, it's good relations. So he says a few days later, I think he said like a week later, he's working at a different place. Same guy comes in, asks for the manager. And he gets the manager, and the guy goes into this whole spiel all over again. And so this guy interrupts him and says, do you recognize me? He's like, well, why should I? And he said, well, because I was there when you did this same thing up at this restaurant up the street there. And the guy, of course, tried to deny it and that. So the counter guy says to the manager, why don't you call Bill over at what's-her-name's and ask him about this guy. And so the guy was like, I don't have to take this, and he leaves. And well, that was interesting, but along the way, it reminded me of an incident from my life when I was working at that store in Pittsburgh that if you saw me talking about Murray that I worked with, it was in that place. And there was a couple of incidents that I remember. One guy came in one time, and he bought something, I don't know what. I can't even remember what kind of stuff we had that would have been something cheap, there was different novelty items there and that, but he bought something, it probably cost like less than a dollar or something, and he gave me I'm pretty sure he gave me a 20. And I made change, and I laid the change down, and he said something. He asked a question about, hey, what's that over there? And we had a whole bunch of like Halloween type masks on shelves behind the counter, and they were good. They were like rubber masks. They were pretty cool. But anyway, so I looked to see what he was pointing at, and as I was looking, I saw his hand kind of flash by. And so then when I turned back, he goes, oh, hey, he points at the change. He goes, I gave you a 20, you only gave me change for a 10. There's like the 5 and 1s laying there. And I said, no, I gave you change for a 20. He says, no, look at it. He says, you didn't give me the 10. And I could see it sticking out of his pocket. It was like about that much of it, because he hurried up and threw it in his pocket. I said, I can see it right there, sticking out of your pocket. He goes, oh, you don't think I could have more than one $10 bill or whatever? And I forget exactly. Of course, whenever you challenge these guys, they get all huffy and stuff and try to bluff their way. And I think I said something to him along the lines of, look, you got 3 choices here. 1, you can just take the rest of your money and leave. 2, I can call the cops. Or 3, I can beat the crap out of you and then call the cops. And he left, and of course, as he's heading to the door, mouthing back over his shoulder about me robbing him and all this. But that guy, it was like a simple sort of a scam. I was surprised that someone even would do that, because it was like so obvious. But then the next day, whenever I came into work and was relieving Murray, I told him about it. I was like, you won't believe what somebody tried yesterday. And I told him, and he said, well, hey, he says, what you don't understand is, he said, that guy, he got the guy next door, and he got the convenience store up on the corner, and he said he got everybody up and down the street. I guess I was the only one that called him out on it. But the one I was really reminded of, if you've ever heard the term quick change artist, I know I'd seen it, like you'd see him mentioned in movies or something. They'd say about someone being a quick change artist. And I knew it was some kind of a scam thing, but I didn't know exactly what until I saw it happen. And I've tried to explain this to people before, and it's hard to describe how this works, because I'm never sure if I forget something along the way, or if it's just these guys are just so slick, they do it so quick that you don't realize it. Because if you go through it like slowly, it's like, how could anybody fall for this? But anyway, and I mean, now this has been, like 40 years ago, so I really don't remember it real well. But basically what happens is somebody will come in and they'll buy something cheap. Like back in the olden days when stores would have like, gum or candy or something, it costs less than $1. They do that, and like they'd give you a 5 for it, and you'd make the change, and then the guy would be like, oh, wait, here, I found the change, and he'd give it to you, and see, and I totally forget, but basically, he'd like, oh, here, how about you just give me a 10 for that? He'd like, and they do it so quick and that, and they, that you don't realize you're giving them like $5 of your money, So anyway, that's what a guy did to me. He came in and he got me. He got me for $5. And then the same guy comes back about a week later and he tried it again. I guess he figured I wouldn't recognize him. But and this time he upped it. He tried to get $10 off of me. Now, the thing about this scam is there's a point in it that of necessity, the schmuck that's being scammed has control over all the money. So when this guy came walking in, and, a lot of times I have trouble recognizing people for sure and that. And I thought, he looks like the guy, but is that the guy or not? And then he starts going through the thing, and I think, wait, is this the same thing? Because the last guy, he was doing this with like a 5. This one, it's a 10. I thought, yep, this is the same deal, This is going through my mind as I'm playing along with the whole thing, And so it gets to the point where he's going to get me. He puts money down, and whenever it came to that point where me as the schmuck had all the money, I picked it up and put it in my pocket. And the guy said, "What are you doing? That's my money." And I said, "No, it's not." I said, "You tried this on me a week ago." I said, "You got away with it for $5." I said, "You're not doing it this time." And of course, he's like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" He's arguing and stuff. Again, these guys never admit that they lost. And of course, he's calling me a thief and all kind of stuff. And I said, well, if I'm a thief, then we could just call the police. And he's, huffing and puffing and walking to the door and the whole way cursing me and telling me, I'll never come back here. It's like, oh, break my heart, call me. But for some reason, he didn't want the cops to come and settle it. Go figure. Anyway, that's my story of meeting characters from The Sting, I guess. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. I'll decide when I start uploading it, I guess. But hope you enjoyed it. And hey, if you ever got scammed like that by anybody, let me know. I'd like to know I'm not alone. But at least the one I did win in the end, in fact, because since that guy tried to up the ante, I not only got the $5 back that he had cost me the week before, but I got an extra 5. Anyway, peace out.